everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Our panel is Susan Jarboe, Reverend Linda Burdett, I'm Kathy Cronin, and Karen Downy, who will be leading our topic of discussion. But before we do that, I would like to take a moment to help us get centered and pray, say a prayer together. So whatever it takes to feel the present, to be here, to let go of that confusion and everything around you. You're just planting your feet firmly on the ground and just taking a few relaxing deep breaths in, hold it for a little bit and release that and feel your shoulders releasing the tension, and you feel that openness in your heart and your chest, and just continue to breathe at a very slow rhythmic pace. You'll feel that relaxation coming about, and you'll feel the spirit of the divine coming into your body and opening your heart, your mind, your soul to that which is to be here in those moments of time together. And with this, dear Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings upon those who are joining us today, for those in the world that are going through whatever struggles they have or whatever's going on in their lives. We are thankful for the wisdom, the guidance that you bless us with, for the sharing of this panel, and to being open and giving new hope and life for those who are out in the world. And for our listeners, we thank you for having them join us, and that we may help enlighten, support them, and bring hope into their lives. Amen. So, Karen, I would love to have you lead our topic of discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay. Can you see that? Okay, I have a deck of cards that's really been my favorite for almost 2 years now. And it's the Oracle of the number 7 energies. And the card that I picked today is Seeing Beyond. And this is the card. And as you can see, the focus is on the third eye, which is related to our intuition and the third eye chakra and the power of wisdom. So, seeing beyond. Now, the key concept in this reading is vision, the capacity to imagine something, look beyond the material, beyond the obvious. The realm of transpersonal, options and possibilities. Getting out of your own way and discarding your projected outcomes. Do you consider things only within the framework of what you already know or believe? Or can you allow yourself to see beyond into the vastness of potential? We are all gifted with the magical ability of imagination. And when we open to it, we become a conduit for the divine vision greater than our own. There are two ways the world, there are two ways to view the world and co-create with it. One is from face value and perspective. What you see is what you get. The second is allowing your imagination to see beyond what something is right now and move into the place that doesn't yet exist in the material world. In this cosmic playground of possibilities, you see into a future where anything you imagine has the potential to become real. If you use your imagination faithfully and consciously, avoiding the traps of fear, projection, and drama, you can connect to any reality you truly want to experience. When you open yourself even further, you're often gifted with the divine vision. As you practice, you can reimagine that vision over and over to strengthen it. As you channel these visions through you, you become the superconductor for the world. Today, know that your vision, what you imagine forming in the invisible, will be imagined forming in the real material world. Don't worry about timing of things. That is in the hands of the universe. Your job is to continue to imagine. Take a few steps forward, then imagine some more. The universe's job is to make it real. What a fabulous partnership. I love this thought. There, for me, there's so many possibilities if I don't get caught up in my own preconceived ideas of what is. And, it's hard to unlearn everything that I've learned and know that what comes into my mind, victims of victims. It's like I was taught from whoever was taught from whatever, but now I can take and figure out, who am I? I can take a little thought, and instead of it being something that makes me afraid, which usually most people I know are afraid of change. Well, I've gotten to deal with change so much in my life that it's like, well, you just have to shoot from your back pocket. You don't know. I never know what's coming next. People have often asked me, well, how did you plan for whatever? And it's like, I really don't know anything about planning. I know about being slammed into a corner, and you just have to do the next step. But if I'm afraid, then I can't move. And so now it's like, expect the unexpected, know that everything is going to be okay, and that everything is as it is, or it wouldn't be right now. If it wasn't meant to be, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. So seeing beyond, it's like, I like that. I don't want to be stuck in a rut in the same place today that I was last year. So this thought helps me think about that and just know that there's good in everything if I don't judge it. Does anybody else have anything to add to that?
Well, I do. I will jump in. I really, really appreciated that card. I really appreciated your share on this as well, Karen. Visualization is such an important tool, and it's so easy to get trapped in not only current events, but other people's opinions of current events, whether it's in the news or in the store or in the book club. Other people are quick to express their opinions. Often it's doom and gloom. And I call them frequently fear mongers, people who profit from getting us to be afraid and tripping and triggering all of those fear panic responses. There's big money in that. People, can get your attention and get you to watch all their commercials and buy all their products, and they have a vested interest in keeping us terrified. And sometimes, we bite. They dangle that bait and we bite and we latch on. It's wonderful to be able to hold a higher and better vision. And one of my great coping skills has been to remember that this too will change, right? Everything changes. Change is the only constant. And there's another saying that everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end. And that helps me to remember as well. But one of my big coping skills, and I've shared this several times because it seems to work for a lot of people, is holding on to the vision of how good I will feel when this is over. Whether it's a presentation that I'm giving, if I'm nervous about it, or even a visit to the doctor, if I have problems with that, visualizing myself walking away from that event, it being over, and how good it'll feel to have that off my plate, to have it done. No matter what happens, it's going to be great when this is over. Man, that has helped me to walk through so many things I couldn't even begin to tell you. And holding a vision and my truth that God is bigger than this, that God is in it all. And just holding that keeps my head above fear, keeps me out of the panic, and gives me an opportunity, I hope, to be support to other people when their head goes underwater. I can pull them up. Thank you for letting me share. Great topic.
Thank you. Sure.
I love those oracle cards. There's a lot of times when I use my deck when I just need to be given guidance and to be able to see it. And this one was so good about looking from the third eye. It's so often we see things that are in front of us, but we're seeing them with the human eye. And when we can go within and look for the higher elements behind it, the things that we don't know that's going on, and having that vision that, like Linda says, that things, what's constant is change will happen. And if you don't like what's happening today, wait until tomorrow. It's like we used to laugh about the weather. If you don't like the weather this morning, well, wait till this afternoon, it'll change. And it's the same thing, people, it's like people will be this way today and then tomorrow they'll change. And, so it's being able to, be able to be flexible and bend, and it helps to have that fact of, when you have a vision of something, is trying to see it with that third eye, see it from the higher level, not at the lower plane. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees when you're in the midst of the forest. But if you can rise above and see it from the mountaintop, it's a whole different picture that you get to see. And sometimes you have to rise above the gut level and I'm a doomsayer, and so this Chicken Little, the sky is falling, this is gonna happen. And sometimes I have to stop and go, okay, go climb the tree and look from above and look down so that you can get a broader view of everything around you, and see that, in time things will work out, things will be okay. And the more I, hyperventilate about something, it's the less, worse I feel. And then what I worried about never comes to be anyway. So it's sort of like, okay, haven't you learned by this point in time? It's like, you can't make something happen just because you get anxious and worry about it. And, it's either I have to take action steps that can make things happen, or I have to accept what's going on and just look at it from a higher view, going, okay, God's in charge. God knows what's going on. He has a better sense. So let's just ride this wave out and see where it's going to take me, or what's going to happen with this. And so it's sort of like is putting that trust. And I think this card tells us to, and having that vision is putting that trust into the fact that, we can't see all, but in time we will get to see it and know it and be able to understand it. And so I appreciate that. I love having you share those, readings and those cards, because it just is a point in time we need to be reminded that there's a higher power going on around us, and the things are unfolding as it should be, and in the end we will have the answers. So thank you.
I enjoyed this presentation, and there were a few things that really struck me. One is the concept of tolerance for ambiguity, or if you want to say tolerance for uncertainty. And this is a psychological construct, and people vary in terms of how much uncertainty they can handle. And what's interesting about this construct too is that countries, or nationalities perhaps we should say, also vary in the tolerance for ambiguity, that there is a cultural aspect to tolerating ambiguity. And I liked what Linda was saying about, fearmongers, the doom and gloom people. And I don't know if you've heard a term. I just learned this a couple of weeks ago. It's called doom scrolling. And it's when you scroll down, let's say you're on your site or your favorite server or whatever, and you're captivated by negativity. And I realize I often do that. That's what catches my attention. That's the clickbait, because it appeals to our sense of desiring security. And if we can say, well, I understand this, then our tolerance for ambiguity is lessened, and then we feel more comfortable with whatever it is that's going on. What I find interesting, particularly about the internet, is all of these articles, 5 things to do here, or 6 things you should never keep in your garage, or lists. There are so many lists, and they all have a number. Well, again, a lot of that is appealing to our desire to be more comfortable. And what they do is they arouse discomfort. And then, as Linda pointed out, somewhere there's a profit to be made out of our discomfort. And what I do is I become very mindful of that this is what I'm doing. And then I step back. And one of the questions I ask myself is, who are these people? And if you look at the disclaimer at the bottom of some of them, they will say, this is just my own opinion, culled from what I've read here and there and everywhere. And I think, well, my opinion is just as good as yours. So we try to alleviate this concern for uncertainty. And, you're right. We don't know what is going to happen in the next minute, much less in the next year. And the thing I really like about what you said had to do with imagination, because what's happening, I think, is that they are using our imaginations. They get into our head and they say, imagine the worst case scenario. And I like what you said about imagination, because it reminded me of a concept that I really like, although some people would definitely disagree with it, is that's how we become co-creators with the universe. I liked the way you said that it isn't just about us. It's about the whole shebang. And that is a wonderful thought. So thank you for this.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you all for your shares. Does anybody have any final little comment? Okay, then I'm going to close for today and thank everybody on the outside that joined us, and remind you, if you liked what you heard today or have a comment, I believe there's a link below. However, I haven't seen that link, so I'm ad-libbing, or calling the church if you have any questions. And thank you for being a part of our group and joining Susan, myself, Kathy, and Reverend Linda. And have a wonderful rest of the day or evening. Bye now.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments, which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.